So here we go, the rain has gone past us. There is still an enormous amount of flooding in southeast Queensland, and that's a worry for a lot of people. They tell me that the Yatala pie shop, only the roof is sticking out of the water, so they must really have some problems between here and the Gold Coast. But back here at my shed, where it teemed rain without stopping for the whole of yesterday, everything is fine and dry, and I'm back in here now sweating like a pig because the water's coming out of the ground with the sun shining, and I've got no complaints at all because I'm way better off than a lot of other people. Anyway, I'm just continuing. I'm determined to put my GSPD back together before the end of the weekend, and doing the carbies up. Now, I meant to look this morning and see how long it's been since I did these, but it would have to be at least 4 years, I would say, maybe 5. So, you know, 50, 60, 80,000, I'm not sure, but a lot. One of the reasons I'm making this video is just to show you something, and that is that I've always been banging on about using 95 premium fuel or 98 premium fuel, and I posted a blog on my website, which if you go to the Boxer Works page, you'll find a link to the website and have a look at the blog. I actually rang a fuel company representative, and after chatting with him for a while, he told me his personal thoughts on what we should do with the fuel in our bikes. I shared that. I might share it again. But this carby here is off my PD. It is filthy on the outside. The PD's done a lot of miles. It does a lot of miles. There's at least 1 or maybe 2 long distance outback trips. I think there's 2 on this rebuild, and I always run it on 95 or 98, no matter what. And this is just to show you why I do that. Now, I've just stripped these down and laid them out neatly to make this video. There's the bits that I won't be bathing in the ultrasound. There's my various tools and hammers and spanners and probes and various bits and pieces. There's the tray full of the bits that will be getting washed and cleaned, but you can see that they are dirty and filthy and well and truly used on the outside. By the time I pulled the engine down, it was breathing fairly heavily. It had quite badly worn valve guides, although the rest of the bike is remarkable. And what I wanted to show you was the general condition of the inside of this carburetor once I took it apart. So this is the float bowl. That's just as it came off the bike. The outside is, of course, filthy and dirty and oily. This is as a result, as I say, of it breathing fairly heavily. So I was expecting to find a different story in here. I was expecting to find oil residue, but I didn't. This is the main jet holder. I've taken the O-ring off that. That's as it came out of the carby body, like that. You'll notice there's no jelly or gunk on it. This is the needle jet and the emulsifying jet or atomizer, or call it whatever you want. They go together as a piece. This is going to be replaced with a new one. But once again, very often when I take these carbies apart, and I do, for some reason here, I do a lot of carbies. I get them sent to me from all over the country, and so many times that these little holes in this castellated nut are all gunked up, and there's just gum and crap all over the end of this holder here. This is the idle jet. Clean as a whistle. That's the air idle mixture screw just there. And interestingly, this is one of the Emerald Isle replacement diaphragms. Would have been one of the first ones to come into the country, I would have thought. And I tried them out just to give them a go. It has some oil feel to it, but absolutely no waves, no wrinkles, no deformation, and that's got to have done, I would think it's done a minimum of 50,000 Ks would be my guess. I would recommend them to anybody. They are a little bit stiff when you first put them in. The first few times that you open the throttle on the bike, you might get a hesitation or a little bit of a slow pickup, but once they go up and down a few times, they limber up very quickly, especially with heat, and once they're broken in, they're fine. And as you can see, they really do the business. So I use them constantly. I also use their Viton bowl gaskets, which are great. That's the underside of the carby as it came off the bike. As you can see, it's been banged and hit and pranged before. It's done a lot of miles, this bike, but I'm trying to get it to show you down in there. It's got a bit of black carbon in there, probably from the oil, I would say. But have a look at the bowl of the carby and all the rest of it. Throat's pretty grimy and grubby. Not too bad really, all things notwithstanding. So if you have a look at that, that's about the end of the video really. That's just what I wanted to show you. I believe strongly that octane notwithstanding, the additive packs that they put into the 95 and 98 premium fuels do keep the carbies clean and do keep the jets from building up crap and gunk, and I would recommend that you use them. The amount of fuel that an airhead uses compared to a car is minor, and for the difference in the cost of fuel, if you're doing one long trip a year and using the best premium fuel you can buy, adds say $50 to that trip, as far as I'm concerned, it's money well spent. This, by the way, is the spindle and the butterfly out of this bike, and you can see that the butterfly has got some residue in it there from a long time. That's the O-ring, if I can get it into focus. Come on, little camera. There, on the shaft. Now, I didn't take this one out the last time or the time before. I did it, I don't know, quite a lot of years ago. The O-ring's okay, but it's gone hard, and you can move it around. It needs to be replaced. I'll check the bushing and stuff like that. The main job of that O-ring, apart from stopping air from coming around the end of the shaft, which is probably more of a minor job, is actually to locate the butterfly in the throat of the carby to make sure that it doesn't foul the sides and can't move around. It's like a little shock absorber really. But in a couple of hours, I'll have the other one stripped in a few minutes. I'll solder blast them all and then start running them through the ultrasound machine while I finish assembling the engine on my PD. So there you go. Ride well, stay safe, stay out of the floodwaters, don't drive into running water, don't do all the usual things they tell you. There's a reason for that. Stay well and ride safely.